It's Ken from DYC Studios, and I bet you're thinking, did they lock you away and finally throw away the key? Well, you'd be wrong, but I am in a tight, enclosed space. No, I'm actually in a pod or capsule hotel, if you will, and it's pretty interesting. Now, I'll tell you a little bit more about it, but let's dive into the studio first. Okay, you're probably wondering where I am, and most people would probably guess Japan because they've probably seen videos from YouTubers staying at pod hotels or capsule hotels, whatever you want to call them, in Japan. Like, I know I've seen videos from Chris Broad staying in them. Now, I am not actually that far from my backyard. I'm about 6 hours away, so not far from Dusseldorf. I'm in Berlin, yes, the capital of Germany. And I've been to Berlin several times before, and hey, you know what? I've stayed in hotels, I've stayed in art hotels, I've stayed in cool hotels, I've stayed in normal hotels. Why not do something different? Why not be adventurous? So here I am at Space Night, which is pretty cool. I'm in a single pod. They do have doubles. I did see one couple staying in a single pod, but that would be probably just a little too cramped for me and another person. So my wife, guess what? You know what? If you want to come, we're staying in a double. But it's not so bad. It is, like I said, pretty tight. Like if I was an NBA basketball player, I would not be able to fit in here. So thank God I'm not that tall. But it is fairly comfortable. You get a pillow, you get a blanket, you get a little stand, a TV tray that you can pop out. In fact, I'm using that to prop up the camera right now. And it is pretty nice. Again, it is small. The walls are kind of thin. I heard somebody snoring next door earlier, and they probably can actually hear me talk right now, which could be annoying to them as well too. But overall, I do think it's pretty cool. You can turn the air on. I turned it on. I've heard a lot of people say that the pod hotels can be kind of hot and kind of sticky. But here, I turned the air on and it got rather chilly. So I'm actually kind of glad. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit more of a tour of Space Night so you can kind of see what it's like here. It's not really too much to see. You know, you get the overall feel. You check in, they give you the grand tour, they give you a locker, and then they show you how everything works, which is pretty nice. I did like that. You know, I wasn't left on my own to kind of fiddle with and things, see how things work. I had a nice explanation, which was really cool. So kudos to them for that. But I'll give you a little tour, that way you guys can see a little bit more of Space Night. Here is the master control panel of the Space Night pod. As you can see, it's pretty simple. You have to put your room key in there to activate everything. Once you do that, you can turn everything on and off. There is a little night light right there that appears in the mirror. You can't really see that, but if you twist this dial, it turns the air on. It does make a little bit of a noise, but hey, I would rather have it be cool than be hot. And I've heard that some of the pods in other countries do get pretty warm. So hey, that's nice that you can adjust this right there. You have a USB port right there. Below the card key right there, you have another little button. That's how you turn on the overhead light. There's another USB port right there. And in the back corner, you can't see it, there is a night light that you can use if you want to read. Now there are other buttons on the clock right there that you can push, like turning on the light, and you can adjust things from Fahrenheit to Celsius, see the time, the date, and everything like that. I don't know if you can set an alarm, but you know, it could be good. Now they don't have an outlet in the pod itself. There is one hanging outside, so if you want to do a fast charge on your phone or something like that, then you just have to do that. But it makes sense, you know, it could be a fire hazard to have that kind of thing within the pod. But overall, it's a pretty easy setup. As you can see, I think anybody could figure it out within 2 seconds. Again, they walked me around, they told me, they explained everything, which was really, really nice. And it's really fast to learn. So this is the control hub. Right up there, we have the reading light. All you have to do is push that little button right there, and then the light comes on. It looks kind of like a water nozzle at first sight, but don't worry, you're not going to get wet. It is just a reading light. There is a little breakfast table right here that you can pull out from the wall. So I guess if you want to read in bed, or if you want to work on your computer or something like that, you could simply just pull that right out and use it. I've been using it to mount my tripod on to give me a little bit more stability. That way it's not sitting on a mattress. So you can see it does come in quite useful.
In this corner, you have another air vent. You have the door lock right there, and another place to hang something if you want.
All right, here we have the reception area, a little chill out area right here with some nice Aurora vibes going on. And here we have an astronaut. I don't know what his name is, but I'm gonna call him Major Tom. Hey, Tom, how you doing? Now, Space Night is divided into 3 districts. Right here we have the double pods. So if you're staying with somebody or just want a little bit of extra room, you can stay right here. The light above changes quite often, which leads to weird colors like this. And here we get a close-up of pod number 3. That's pretty cool. And here you can see, I guess this person's sleeping. I probably shouldn't have been too loud outside, but you know what? It's Space Night. I had to check it all out. Okay, we're walking down the corridor of the space station in Space Night. Here's District 2. This is where I stayed, right there. It's primarily singles, but there are a couple doubles on the end. The neon light keeps changing, which is bad for filming. Here's the locker room. I do recommend bringing a duffel bag as opposed to a hard suitcase. Lockers are kind of not so big, but people did leave stuff outside. District 3 is primarily singles. Right there you can see, pretty nice. Now, I think I should have brought flip-flops, but that was my mistake. I've never stayed in a capsule hotel before. Here we're walking down District 2. I have the door open up to my capsule. You'll be able to see inside. I did move the towel around, so it's not so pretty sitting in the corner. But to give you an idea of what 61 looks like on the inside. And here we have one of the spacious bathrooms, pun intended. I did borrow the hairdryer. It is pretty big. They have about 10 bathrooms, and people just kind of wait and take their turns. And it is really clean. It is really nice. It's big and it's comfortable. I do wish I brought flip-flops though, but hey, it is what it is. Lesson learned. Now, there is no kitchen at Space Night, but hey, guess what? If I'm in a new city, I'm going to be exploring it anyway, so who cares? But it's good to know that there isn't one. It's 8 a.m. in Berlin and I am wide awake. I survived the night at Space Night. Now, did I sleep well? That's the big question. Now, like any hotel, usually the first night I'm going to be tossing and turning. So I'm never really ever going to get like the perfect night's sleep unless it's that dream hotel. And hey, that sometimes does happen. Now, for me, I thought the bed was a little bit too hard. But you know what? That's something I've complained about at other hotels as well too. Well, I didn't complain, but you know, it's something that, you know, always kind of bothers me. The blanket was a little too thick, but in Germany or in Europe, for the most part, most blankets at hotels are a little bit too thick for me. Trust me, I will kick it on and off at night, bundle myself up when I'm cold, and then as soon as I'm too hot, it gets pushed over towards my wife. Ask her. She probably doesn't get a good night's sleep because I'm always throwing the blankets around. But anyways, it was really a good experience, and I can tell you, the air did get a little stuffy in here. I will be happy to open the door and let some fresh air in, but I've heard that about other capsule style hotels that the air does get a little muffy, so to speak. Now, the fan does help out a little bit, and I do think, you know, it probably does have one of the better fans if I were to compare it to what I've heard from other videos and watching things of that nature about these style of hotels. So I'm not disappointed. I knew what I was getting into with the air wise. Now, big question, would I do this again? Yes, I would stay at a capsule hotel again, maybe in a different country or a different city. I think why not? I definitely would love to do it in Japan to check it out. I think it's just a fun experience to do something, you know, unique for a change. You can always stay in a regular hotel or an art hotel or something like that, but why not do something a little bit more adventurous? I mean, for me, this kind of feels like staying in a sci-fi area. And I know each pod hotel or capsule hotel around the world has their own kind of theme, so why not give it a try and see what it's like? Now, if you stayed in a capsule hotel or a pod style hotel, let me know down in the comments below, because I'd like to know which ones you have stayed at, because I might actually get to try one of those. Who knows? I travel quite frequently, and it's very random where I end up in Europe and around the world, to be honest with you. And I might end up in that city and might want to check it out. If you stayed in Space Night, also let me know in the comments below what your opinion was. Did you like it? Did you love it? Was it something that, you would want to try again? All right, guys, I really enjoyed it. I have a few fun things planned today in Berlin. Again, I will stay at another hotel tonight and maybe try to get some better sleep. But, overall, my experience here was pretty good. Guys, I really enjoyed it. Guys, again, Hope you guys enjoyed watching this. Give pod hotels or capsule hotels a try, and hey, why not try Space Night the next time you're in Berlin? And as always, guys, happy creating. We'll catch you guys on the next one.